Your landing page has 5 seconds to earn the scroll. Not 10, not 30, 5. That's how long visitors gives you a shot before they decide, is this for me or not? If your hero section doesn't answer that immediately, they are gone. Most people think that the fix is better design, flashier visuals, and more copy. But after creating hundreds of hero sections over the last decade, I found the opposite. The hero sections that actually convert aren't the most creative, they are the most clear. They are built to do one job in the first 5 seconds, which is to show the visitor that they are in the right place. Hey, if you're new here, I'm Rashid, and I spent over 9 years building conversion systems. In this video, I'll show you the 4-part hero framework I use to earn the scroll fast. Let's dive in. Netflix discovered that users decide in around 1.8 seconds whether to click a title or scroll past. So what they did is obsess over thumbnails, testing dozens of variants for every movie and show. One tweak can boost clicks by 20 to 30%. Why? Because if the thumbnail doesn't instantly scream, "This is for me," you feel that it's not relevant and bounce. Your landing page hero section works exactly the same way. Your headline sparks curiosity, your visual proves relevance. Together, they have 5 seconds to make the visitor feel understood. Miss that window, instant bounce. Over the last 10 years or so, I've created hundreds of hero sections. I've developed a 4-part system for building them so they earn the scroll in the first 5 seconds. Each part has a specific job, and if any part is weak, visitors bounce. Let me walk you through each one. So part 1 is the hook headline. This is the most important part of your entire landing page. If I had to allocate $1 budget, I would spend 80 cents on the headline, because here's the truth. One good hook is worth thousands of words of masterful copy. If you can't grab someone's attention in the first 5 seconds, nothing else matters. Your headline is the gatekeeper, the thing that decides whether the visitors gives you a shot. If you get everything else right, but the headline is wrong, it's still dead on arrival. You know, every opportunity counts because you most likely only get one shot when someone visits your website. You only have their time and attention for so long, and there are other people fighting for their time and attention as well. So we need to spend a disproportionate amount of our time on the headline. Writing good headlines are hard, and here's what helped me a lot. So this leads to the 4 U's, not as a checklist, but as 4 questions your reader subconsciously asks the moment they land on your page. And number 1 is urgent. This is where they ask, why should I pay attention to this right now? If there's no urgency, they bounce. Simple as that. Urgency doesn't have to be time-based. It can be situational as well. For example, are you losing customers because of slow loading times? You see, this creates urgency because if the answer is yes, they need to fix it right now. The second part of the 4 U's is unique. So this is where they ask, what makes this different from the last 10 things I've seen? If it's familiar, their brain filters out. This is where most headlines fail, because they sound like everyone else in the category. For example, email marketing made simple. You see, I've read that a lot and there's nothing unique about it. This leads to the third part of the 4 U's, ultra specific. So this is where they ask, who is this actually for? And what exact problem does it solve? Vague headlines get ignored. Specific ones feel personal. So you want to avoid having really vague headlines. And again, having something like grow your business faster is very vague. And this leads to the final part of the 4 U's, which is useful. So this is where they ask, if I give you my attention, what do I get in return? So they're basically asking, how does my life, business, or situation improve after doing the action it is you want me to do? The headline makes the benefit obvious, not the feature. If the headline does not answer clearly all 4 of the U's in the framework, it's not strong enough yet. So once you've done that, ask yourself, would I stop scrolling for this? If not, rewrite it. Coming from someone who's written dozens and dozens of headlines for landing pages, let me tell you, it's still hard. So I've included a headlines formula doc in the description. Grab those if you want that extra guidance. So the next part is part 2, explain with your sub-headline. So the goal of the sub-headline is to elaborate on the headline and tee up the CTA. It's the bridge between your primary headline and your primary call to action. Most people skip the sub-headline entirely or make it way too long. To make the sub-headline work, the sub-headline should answer, how does this work? Or what makes this possible? For example, a headline could be, never miss a sales opportunity again, where the sub-headline is, get instant alerts when high-value companies visit your website, so you can reach out while they're still interested. You see, the sub-headline clarifies how the headline is achieved, or it addresses a common concern. And when it comes to a common concern, an example could be where the headline is, build landing pages in 10 minutes, where the sub-headline says, no code, no designer, just pick a template and customize. You see, this sub-headline removes objections where people say, I'm not technical. What you want to do with the sub-headline is simple. Keep it short, 1 or 2 sentences max, and make sure it leads naturally into your CTA. This leads to part 3 of the hero section framework. Reveal your visual. Your hero image or video is not decoration. It's doing work. Here's the most important principle. Make your product or service the hero. The reason why I say this is because I see so many landing pages with beautiful landscape images, lifestyle shots, abstract graphics, thinking they're selling the dream outcome. But that's the headline's job. The hero image or video needs to clarify and show the product, service, or process as the most prominent element. Why? Because visitors need to see what they are getting. If your headline says manage projects in one place, but your hero image is a stock photo of people in a meeting, there's a disconnect right there. Instead, show a screenshot of a dashboard, show the interface, show the product in action, maybe a before and after video, something like that, right? In my opinion, there are 2 types of effective hero visuals. Number 1 is the product in action. Show the interface, the dashboard, the tool or product being used. This best works for people who sell products and other services like SaaS. The second way is process visualization. Show the steps, the transformation, the before and after. This best works for service-based businesses, agencies, consultants, and so on. What doesn't work are generic stock photos of people smiling, abstract shapes or illustrations with no context, landscape images that look cool but say nothing. Your hero visual needs to pass that 5-second test, okay? And if you're struggling with this, use AI tools like Gemini, the ones that can generate good visuals to help you. You have no excuse when it comes to the visuals these days. Which leads to part 4 of the hero section, offer the next step. Your call to action button is the final piece of the hero section. And here's the one thing that separates a strong call to action from a weak one: clarity. Again, this is the theme of the video. Your call to action should tell me exactly what happens when I click. Examples could be learn more about X, get started by doing X, watch a 2-minute demo, get access to a cheat sheet, try now, no card required, book a 15-minute call, something that shows that's no pressure or risk really. These remove uncertainty and I know what I'm getting and what I need to do. That's from my point of view when it comes to the end user. The rule is simple. If someone reads your CTA and wonders what happens next, you need to rewrite it, because it's so important to get that call to action right, because you need to let them know what's required of them and what happens when they click the button. Simple as that. And make sure your call to actions are different on different sections of the landing page. And once you've done that, what's really important is adding trust signals below it. Below your call to action, add logos of customers or trust badges, logo near the text. This builds credibility without adding copy. And if you don't have big logos, use the number of customers or the star rating and review count from Trustpilot or any review site, Google and so on, or maybe a industry certification, that shows you're legit. The goal is simple, really. reduce friction before they click. With that said, that is the 4-part hero section framework, but that's just one part of the equation. You need to measure the success. Here are 3 ways I measure the hero section and its effectiveness. Method 1 is the 1-second test. I know I mentioned 5 seconds a lot, but this is another test where it's the fastest way to know if your hero section is working. Pull up your landing page, but cover the screen with a piece of paper. Once the page loads, remove the paper and look at the page for just 1 second, then cover it back up. Then ask yourself, what stood out? Do you remember the headline? Where was your eye drawn to? Of course, you're biased with your own pages, so ask your colleagues, friends, families, and so on to run this test. Then ask them, what stood out? What do you think the product or service does? Does it tell you who this is for? If they can't answer these questions after 1 second, your hero section isn't clear enough, which leads to my second method, screen recordings. So this helps with the term called above the fold. Above the fold is the first screen people see, and it decides if they should keep scrolling or leave. You need to watch the actual visitors on your landing page using tools like Hotjar. Look for these patterns. A good sign is visitors stay above the fold for 5 to 7 seconds, then scroll slowly down the page. This is a telltale sign of an interested person. They are hooked. And there are some bad signs to look out for. Bad sign number 1 is visitors hit your page and bounce immediately within 1 to 2 seconds. This means your hero section isn't grabbing enough attention. Bad sign number 2 is visitors stay above the fold for 1 to 2 seconds and scroll quickly down the page, then bounce. This means they looked, didn't understand, or weren't interested, and then they left. So keep an eye out for that 1 good sign and those 2 bad signs, which leads to the third method, method 3, scroll maps. So scroll maps show you the percentage of visitors who scroll past each section of your landing page. Again, tools like Hotjar have this built in. So here's what to look for. If less than 30% of visitors scroll past your hero section is failing. What you want to do here is stay laser focused on optimizing the above the fold until you get that 50% plus scrolling. Again, above the fold is the first screen people see, and it decides if they should keep scrolling or leave. Because why optimize what 20 to 30% of people see, which is the rest of your landing page, when you haven't nailed the section that 100% of visitors will see? Because that is the most important part, right? Just focus on what is the main thing. Then once you focus on that, then focus on the rest of the page. Once you have 50% plus scrolling past the hero, then you can focus on optimizing the rest of the page, but not before. So there you have it, voila. Most landing pages fail because they optimize the wrong thing first. They tweak buttons, colors, they A/B test body copy, they add features to the page. But if your hero section doesn't earn the scroll within the first 5 seconds, none of that matters. Fix the hero section, get that 50 plus scrolling, then optimize everything else after that. The hero framework gives you the blueprint. The measurements tell you what's working. Now go build a hero section worth scrolling for. If you find this video useful, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.